According to government statistics, 91.2% of England is of non-developed use. That is why most of this map is green. I start with this fact because the question I have been asked most often about the Stewardship Freehold Village concept is, do we have enough land? Surely it is suggested we live on a crowded island, we don't grow enough to feed ourselves, we can neither spare agricultural land for new housing, nor afford the luxury of low density, nature-friendly new housing anywhere. These are fair points, though bearing in mind that 91.2% of England is of non-developed use, perhaps a little surprising. What are we doing with all of that land? According to DEFRA, of England's 13 million hectares, 11 million is agriculture, or forestry, open land and water, or undeveloped land or vacant land. Even with the ultra low density proposed for Stewardship Freehold Villages, just 12% of that land will give us over 2 million homes, protect the soil of over 1 million hectares, increase England's total area of regeneratively farmed land by 25%, and increase total food production and thus food security. So the idea that we don't have the land seems odd. England is almost the most densely populated country in Europe, but that average obscures the fact that on this front, continental Europe is, compared to England, a land of extremes. In a league of the most densely packed individual square kilometres, England's is right in the middle, way below those of France and Spain, which also, between them, have all 33 of these single square kilometres in Europe, which each house over 40,000 people. Similarly, when it comes to low density, very few of our local authority areas have what, in continental Europe, would be considered a truly sparse population. 3/4 of them are more heavily populated than the average for the whole of Germany, and, incredibly, the 93% of English local authority areas with a higher density than the average for France include North Norfolk, Rutland, and the Isles of Scilly. England's population is relatively evenly spread, in large part because, unlike much of continental Europe, nearly all of it has for millennia offered landscapes, soils and climates suited to habitation and farming. Almost everywhere is a good place to live. Hence, according to 2025 DEFRA and ONS reports, more people live in England's villages and small towns than in London and all England's largest 23 cities combined. Rural populations have been growing thanks to migration from urban areas of England to rural ones. The greatest growth in migration to rural areas is amongst people in their 30s, and 98% of England's rural dwellers live near to one of our nearly 1,200 small and medium-sized towns. This creates a surprising paradox. The very fact that our population is so evenly spread means that even though 91.2% of England is of non-developed use, our network of small and medium-sized towns covers the country. This also means that, using an admittedly crude calculation, if we created a 4-kilometre zone around each of our small and medium-sized towns and devoted 10% of that land to new Stewardship Freehold Villages, that would create well over 1.5 million new homes, protect 1 million hectares of soil, improve our biodiversity and increase food security, all in ways that existing local people, including farmers and environmentalists, are unlikely to find unacceptable and many will positively welcome. We have the land. Yes, we are failing to be anywhere near self-sufficient in food, and we are failing to house ourselves in ways that do not cause serious social and environmental harm. But we are failing because of flaws in our political economy, planning and agricultural systems, not because we do not have the land. 91.2% of England is of non-developed use. We have the land.